There are 3 ways to add Midi VST in Ableton Live. First, the vanilla way. First, create a Midi track. Then drag your Midi VST plugin to that new track. Under the input-output section of the first track, select the new Midi track as Midi from. And under the second box, instead of post-FX, choose the Midi FX plugin you just added. And make sure monitor is set to in. Last, drag the Midi track from the original track to the newly created Midi track. So now, whenever you play any clips from the second track, it will go through the Midi VST plugin and then send to the original instrument track. The pros of this method, you can literally do this right now without downloading anything. The downside is that you have to have a second Midi track, which leads us to the second method, Max for Live. So first, follow the link in the description, download the 2 Max for Live devices. Now back to Ableton Live. We first need to group the instrument device, open the chain list, and create a new chain. Under the original instrument device chain, we drag the Midi VST receiver, and on the newly created chain, we drag over the Midi VST sender. Also drag in the Midi VST plugin while you add it. I'm also just gonna rename the chain just to make it easier to read. Now drag the Midi VST chain above the instrument chain. This is somehow very crucial as it just doesn't work if it is the other way around. Anyway, open the chain tab and drag the instrument chain just anywhere on the right side. It doesn't really matter. And hide it just for visual sake. Now go to the Midi VST chain, go to the Midi VST sender, and under the input, choose the instrument track you are on. And instead of post FX, just choose the Midi VST. Now everything is in one track, although it is arguably the most annoying method, but you can save the instrument track just for later use. But in my opinion, the best method is just to build your own Max for Live device. So first, go to the link in the description and get this MIDI effect wrapper from Vsts. You will get this Max for Live device called Scalar Midi. After you put it somewhere in your user library, drag it before your instrument device. Now click on the 3 dot on the top right and edit in Max. If you are using Ableton Live version before 12, just click on this button. Now click Unfreeze, Patching Mode, and expand the window just to make things easier. On the left side, you will see a Plugins button. Click on it and look up your Midi VST and just drag it in. Now delete the Scalar 2 node and replace it with the new Midi VST. Connect the last output from Midi parse node over in the left side of your Midi VST input. And also connect the plug and open node to the same place. At the bottom of Midi VST plugin node, you'll see quite a few output. We need to connect the 5th output, which should be plugin generated Midi events, to the Midi output. Obviously, if you want to change the scalar button, the text, it's fine. But in this case, I'm just gonna leave it. So to save the changes, click Lock, Presentation Mode, and Freeze. When you close the window, click Save. And now whenever you press the open button, it will just show up the Midi VST you just added. The upside of this method is very obvious. It is visually clean and it does not interrupt with any workflow. If you know a little more about Max for Live, you can even make custom UI to the Midi VST. But on the other side, if you don't know anything about Max for Live, you may potentially run into issues, which isn't the end of the world or anything. In conclusion, don't do the second method. First method, if you just got a brand new VST plugin just trying to test it out. But in most cases, I just recommend just make your own Max for Live wrapper. It's quite simple, straightforward, and the site you download the Max for Live device from, the Audio Swift, also provided a very detailed description on how everything works. I highly recommend to check it out. Anyway, this will be it. I'll see you later. Bye.